Hi guys, my name is Isa. Welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk to you about trust in a relationship. Let's get started. This is part of my intentional dating series, so if that's something that you're interested in, make sure to check it out. The last time that I was talking with someone, I became extremely anxious because I didn't know if this was a person that I could trust. I just knew him for a while, so basically I didn't know him enough to know if he would hurt me or not. When I reflected on that, I realized I've mistaken the meaning of trust. For some reason, I believe trusting someone is a guarantee that they won't hurt me, which is not the case. So when I was asking myself, is this someone that I can trust? I was basically asking myself, do I know for a fact that they won't hurt me? Do I know for a fact that they won't switch up? Do I know for a fact that they won't break my heart in the future? And I don't. I don't know for a fact. I don't know for a fact with anybody in my life, actually. And as someone who has been hurt in the past, I don't want to trust someone who's going to end up hurting me. But that's the risk of every relationship. Whether it's a romantic relationship, a platonic relationship like a friendship, or even a family relationship, the risk is the same. You can get hurt. The closer you get with someone, the greater the amount of pain you will feel if this person hurts you. Let me give you an example. You're friends with someone and you guys kind of just like hang out. It's more of a superficial friendship. You don't talk about anything deep. You don't talk about personal stuff. It's just fun, aesthetic. And then there's another friendship. And this is a person that you cry with whenever you're upset. This is a person that you have to talk with whenever you're anxious. The person that you've spent the most time with or you've opened up the most. If both of them betray you, who do you think will hurt you the most? The superficial friendship or the friendship where you open your heart? Getting hurt is a risk of every relationship. That's not to say that everyone is just intentionally trying to hurt you. You can get hurt even if that's not someone's intention. I've personally never had the intention of hurting someone, and I have hurt people. I wasn't considerate enough, I said the wrong thing, I didn't think of my reaction. I have fallen short many times. In the same way that other people have hurt me because they've fallen short, because they didn't consider me or my feelings, they weren't empathetic enough. I can give you a list of how people have fallen short for me and how I've fallen short for people. Most of the time, those people aren't thinking, I'm gonna do this to hurt this person. So how can we actually avoid getting hurt from people, even if that's not their intention? Because there's a very big difference between getting hurt by someone who wanted to hurt you and then getting hurt by someone who didn't want to hurt you. If you want to avoid all pain, you might as well not date. That's the hack I can give you, which is not really a hack. The avoidance found it first. This is exactly what most avoidants do. They start getting close with someone. When it's superficial, they feel safe. The moment that they start emotionally investing, the moment that he starts feeling serious, the moment where they feel like the other person is depending on them, they become anxious, they become uncomfortable, they feel like they're being suffocated because they can now sense the risk of getting hurt. So what do? They leave. I don't know about you guys, but I love connecting with people too much to avoid relationships. I love being in love too much to avoid relationships. I love friendships too much to avoid friendships. So what do? I want to have connections, but I don't want to get hurt. How can I avoid getting hurt? We can't. You can't avoid getting hurt. You just can't. There's a specific kind of hurt that you can avoid, which is the hurt that you would end up experiencing if you ignore red flags. But there's other type of hurt that you just can't avoid. So that basically brought me the question, how do I know who to trust and who to walk away from? And in order for us to be good at choosing who we are going to trust and who we will walk away from, we first need to trust ourselves. That is why I named this video Self-Trust in Relationships. I have personally made the mistake of giving away my trust too fast, too easily to someone who didn't earn my trust. This happened in my last relationship. I completely believed that this person would be the person that I would marry. So I thought, of course, I need to trust my husband. So I just gave this guy my trust and he showed me, even though it wasn't his intention to hurt me, but he still showed me that you shouldn't give your trust to someone so easily. And that's also when I learned that trusting someone is not a guarantee that you will never get hurt. However, you feel secure when you trust someone. That's what most people look for when they decide to trust someone, is they want to feel secure with this person, because if they don't trust this person, if they don't feel secure, it makes no sense for them to be in a relationship with them. Lucky for you, I have my journal with me, And I wrote a few questions so you can reflect if you trust yourself enough. Do you trust yourself to walk away if the person or the relationship dynamic misaligns with what you want? For example, if you want a relationship and you start talking with someone and this person starts telling you, let's go with the flow, let's see where this goes, I'm just not looking for anything serious right now. Do you trust yourself enough to walk away even though you really like this guy? Do you trust yourself to voice your boundaries and walk away if they are crossed? There's a very big difference with someone crossing your boundaries and not being aware that that was a boundary, and then someone crossing your boundary knowing that they're crossing your boundary. Because some people will test you. They will cross your boundary just to see if you will stay. If you stay, that tells them that you don't care about your boundary being crossed enough to do something about it. So they keep crossing that boundary. If you find yourself in that dynamic, you're with someone who does not respect you. And you probably don't feel the happiest because you have to deal with a lot of disappointment, and maybe you will end up building resentment every time this person crosses your boundary. That being said, there are some boundaries that you don't even have to communicate. So if this person cheats on you and they tell you, oh, I didn't know that was a boundary, that is the kind of boundary you don't need to communicate. Everyone should already know that. Do you trust yourself to be there for yourself and meet your needs rather than abandon yourself to follow someone or force them to stay? Okay, let's say you're going through something hard with your family, right? And you need the support of your partner. Because why else would you have a partner if they're not supporting you? You need the support of your partner, and this person is just not showing up for you. They are aware of the situation, they know that you need them, or they know that you want them, and they're still not showing up for you. And you feel rejected, you can clearly tell that this person is just not there for you. Abandoning your needs at that moment could look like you gaslighting yourself, telling yourself, it's okay, I don't need this person. Allowing this person to repeatedly disappoint you and staying with this person because you don't want them to leave. You meeting your needs would be, okay, what do I need? I need someone who supports me. If this person is not going to support me, that just tells me that this is not the person for me. So I will leave that environment and I will support myself. Now, why is leaving this person better than staying with this person who's not meeting your needs? It's because at least when you're alone and you meet your own needs, you are with someone who cares enough to meet your needs instead of being with someone who doesn't care enough. Do you trust yourself to not ignore the red flags? I don't care how cute this person is. I don't care how long you've been without talking to someone. I don't care how attached you've been. Are you willing to walk away from the red flags? Because let me tell you, not walking away from red flags is what ensures that you will get hurt in those relationships. Do you trust yourself to be there for yourself if this person ends up hurting you? Let's say you do end up having like a relationship with someone and they earn your trust, which is something we're going to talk about later. But they earn your trust and somehow they still end up hurting you. That leads to a breakup. Are you going to be there for yourself? Are you going to identify your needs? Are you going to deal with your emotions? Like, are you going to process your emotions? If you feel like crying, are you going to let yourself cry? If you feel like you need a hug, are you going to ask for a hug from someone else, not your ex, but are you going to ask for a hug, or are you just going to jump to someone else to distract yourself? Are you going to distract yourself with alcohol, drugs, or food, or sex? How are you going to deal with your heartbreak? Are you going to deal with it in a way that serves you and the way that builds you up as a person? Or are you going to deal with it in a way that just ensures that you won't trust anyone ever again and you just show yourself that you're not reliable in that sense? What's scary about the idea of someone betraying us is not necessarily this person betraying us, but the emotion that will come up if that happens. So, for example, if you are terrified of being alone, or you are terrified of the idea of being rejected or unwanted, and you have a partner who cheats on you, that will reinforce your belief of, I'm not enough, because if I was enough, this person would stay, right? Which is not the case. That will bring you such an overwhelming wave of emotions that maybe you are not ready to deal with. Most of us don't trust that we will be able to be there for ourselves when we do get hurt. Maybe we don't trust that we will be able to leave the situation. Maybe we don't trust that we will be able to process our emotions. I have gone through a couple situations where it's just so painful and I just don't know how to process an emotion, and it just like stays in my body and it shows up in like my next romantic dynamic. Obviously, I do care about if you trust your partner, but I trust more of if you trust yourself. Are you reliable enough to allow yourself to be in a relationship? Reliable in the sense of, will you take care of yourself, whatever it takes to make sure that you're safe? Even if that means walking away from someone that you're attached to, walking away from someone that you love and you don't want to leave Processing that emotion, even though it's uncomfortable and you would rather not do it, but knowing that if you don't, you will repress the emotion and possibly affect your immune system, because when you don't process your emotions, you end up hurting your body. Are you able to do whatever it takes for you to be in a safe environment? That's the kind of trust that I care about, because if you end up in the hands of someone who doesn't care for your safety, there needs to be at least one person who cares for your safety, even if that's you. Because if you care for your safety, it will be, or not necessarily if you care for your safety, I don't think that's the right word. Just keep in mind, if you do end up finding yourself in a relationship where you're not respected, the alternative of not walking away is staying in a relationship where you're not respected for the rest of your life, or until the other person just gets tired of you. And I don't know who made us believe that those alternatives are less painful than walking away. Something that stops a lot of people from walking away is the fear of being alone, thinking that you will not find anything else if you leave this person, or just the uncertainty of the future. That's where another aspect of trust comes in. Before you enter any and all relationships, I need you to know you don't need this relationship. You don't need this person in your life. You are beautiful with and without this person. In some cases, you're more beautiful without that person. Losing this relationship might be painful, but it will not make you less worthy. It will not make you less valuable. It will not make you less deserving of a beautiful relationship. If anything, losing that toxic relationship is what allows you to have a healthy and beautiful relationship in the future. So I need you to understand you don't need this person to be happy. You don't need this person to be who you want to be. You don't need this person to be your best. You are already someone without this person. So if you guys end up breaking up, I just need you to trust that you will be more than just okay without this person, right? And if you've been hurt in the past, and that's why you're so afraid of trusting someone, that's my case, we just need to remind ourselves that we are strong enough to handle another heartbreak if that happens. Especially if we're coming from experience, if we learn from our mistakes and we trust ourselves, we can trust that we will be able to handle this. When I was reflecting on my own situation, I realized I will walk away if I feel disrespected. I will process my emotion even if it's uncomfortable. I will pray, I will cry, I will journal if necessary. I will give myself time to be upset. I will give myself time to process everything that I need to process. I will give myself compassion, because the last thing that I need when I'm going through a tough moment is shame. I also know that if this person is not for me, it's because God has something better for me. And I know that any and every situation that happens to me, I will always learn from it, like always. So once I realized all of that, I was like, I'm okay. Even if I end up going through another heartbreak, like that is not something that I can fully avoid, but I know that I'll be okay. I know that I'll be okay, because that's the risk of being in a relationship, getting hurt. But I know that I will be there for myself. I know that I won't be alone. I know that even if I'm overwhelmed with sadness, disappointment, God is with me. I can pray whenever I need to, right? Just remember, God is always near those who are brokenhearted and weary. So, a reminder, you don't need a relationship to be happy. You will communicate your boundaries and you will walk away if those boundaries are crossed. If you're disrespected, you're already out that door. I will never see you begging for someone to stay or show up for you. Okay? I better not see you do that. You won't be shrinking for someone else to feel comfortable. You will take up space. You will take up space. You will meet your needs and you will process your emotions and you will trust that whatever happens is the best thing. And if that relationship comes to an end, you will trust that you will be there for yourself and that you will get better in the future. Once you trust yourself, and not only trust yourself, because you need to earn that trust. How do we earn that trust? We have to do it. We have to do the things that we want to trust. So how do I trust that I will communicate my boundaries? I will start communicating my boundaries even if it's uncomfortable. How do I trust that I will walk away if I'm disrespected? The next time that you get disrespected, you're walking away. You need to give yourself evidence as to why you're a reliable person. The more evidence you have, the stronger your trust in yourself will be. And once you do that for yourself, once you actually put in the effort to show up for yourself and earn your trust and you're able to trust yourself, it will be easier for you to identify who is worthy of your trust and who isn't. Because if you're so willing to put in the work to trust yourself, why would you trust someone else who's not willing to put in the effort for you? Let your partner earn your trust. That is not something that will happen in the first week, in the first month. No, your partner has to earn your trust through consistent action and consistent effort. So for example, if this person is telling you, yeah, I'm taking you serious, like I care so much for you, whatever, but then their actions tell you otherwise, that person is not earning your trust. We want to see actions, we want to see effort, and we want to see consistency. That's how someone will earn your trust. If you're able to identify red flags, if you're able to sense when you're being disrespected, if you're able to communicate your boundaries and notice when they're being crossed, it will be easier for you to know who to walk away from. And that will avoid you a lot of pain. Because most of you, and that's like including my past self, okay, no judgment from me. Most of you end up getting hurt by guys who you could have easily known that they would hurt you just by the red flags that you ignored. Like, really. So if you walk away from the red flags, if you walk away when your boundaries are crossed, or when this person is just promising and doing nothing, you will walk away from someone and you will avoid unnecessary pain. You don't want to date someone who makes you feel unsafe. And honestly, whatever action they're doing that's making you feel unsafe is probably already crossing a boundary, whether you know it or not. And as we said, if they're crossing a boundary, you're gone. I need you to trust yourself first before you decide to trust someone else. Show yourself what trust looks like. Show yourself what earning your trust looks like before you go to someone else. I will say, whenever I start talking with someone or I am dating, I always ask God to lead my steps. And this is me now when I'm intentionally dating. This was not me before when I was just like getting heartbroken all the time. So I ask God to please reveal to me who this person is. Because although I just met this person and I don't know who they are and I don't know their heart, God does know. So I will share with you a prayer that I have whenever I will talk with someone or gonna go out with someone. I say, Lord, please allow me to see in them what you want me to see. Reveal to me who they are. And in the same way, allow me to reveal what you want them to see in me. The same way that I don't want to be dating the wrong person, I don't want whoever I'm talking to dating the wrong girl, even if that's me. No, I want everyone to be dating the right person. Ask for discernment, okay? Ask for discernment in knowing who this person is, in knowing what you want and what you desire and what your boundaries are, and to be able to know when it's time to walk away. Now, all the things that I mentioned in this video, I already have a video about them, or I will make a video about them. So far, I've talked about ignoring red flags and how to not settle in your relationship, which is basically knowing what you want in a relationship. Any other topics that I mentioned here, trust, I will be making an episode about it for my series. The intention of this series is for you to guard your heart when you're dating, which is the most important thing you can do. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it. If you liked this message, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Today we're doing simple nails. Bye!